Pretty excited today. Today I have a friend driving out from just east of Denver, and she's gonna come out and come on a hike with us, and we're gonna hope that Hobbes is willing to go for a hike. It's kind of hit and miss with him at how much he wants to walk or doesn't want to walk, but she's gonna pick us up in her car. We drive to the trailhead and hike, and I think as a result, leaving the camper behind, he's going to be more willing to hike. So, and then I also am bringing the backpack that he fits in, so as a last resort I can carry him if he doesn't want to walk. So I don't want to carry him for 10 miles, but I could carry him for a couple miles so that we can get some kind of hike in, so that her trip out here isn't in vain and we can actually get out and stretch our legs and get a little exercise. So TBD, don't know where we're going yet. I downloaded a few maps from All Trails for easy routes. They're all like 5 miles or less and relatively flat, so we can pick from those, or I'll see if she has something else that she's figured out. But I'm just excited to see a friend and to get out, that's all. So this dog is testing me. He's like definitely putting me through the ringer right now. So last night there was a bit of a situation. This dog is, this breed is like notorious for having sebaceous cysts. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those. And like, for instance, my last dog that was this breed, in the course of her life, I probably spent over 10 grand dealing with sebaceous cysts. And so Hobbes has had one that's kind of come and gone, and they kind of flare up and go down. And because of his age, I haven't wanted to knock him out to totally remove it. And it hasn't been that bad. But last night it decided to rupture. Never before have I had one rupture on me. And when it did, clearly it was totally infected. It smelled like death. Totally smelled like death, like the whole van. And then there was like a brownish, gross fluid coming out that smelled to high heaven. So, of course, I was not at my finest at that moment. And so I looked up the vet, and not worthy of an emergency vet appointment, but definitely like get him in the next day, because it's infected. I got up this morning and I decided I was just going to go straight beeline to the vet, and I wasn't even going to wait to try and call them. I'm just going to show up. So I drove there, get to the front door, and guess what? It's one of the few days that they're closed on Fridays. Unreal. So, so then I was sitting there sulking in the front seat. I hadn't fed Hobbes because I was hoping he could maybe have surgery today, maybe even if they had a slot, and just remove it. And so I hadn't fed him, so I was just going to feed him in the parking lot. I was sitting there feeling whatever. And, and I did torture him last night and made him take a bath after that because the fluid was everywhere and it just stunk. And then on top of that, if you had to have surgery, they do stitches and you can't get it wet for 2 weeks. So I was like, no, we are not going 2 weeks. Baby doll. So I made him take a bath. He wasn't happy. I wasn't happy, but whatever. So as I'm sitting there, I see somebody go in. And so then I totally went mama bear on the joint. Like I went up there, was like knocking on the door and got their attention. And I feel like it was maybe the vet tech, and I don't know if she's checking on dogs that are there or if she's doing office work or whatever. But I was like, ah! And she was so nice to me. Yeah, so nice. She was able to give us a prescription for antibiotics. Clearly it's infected. Start with antibiotics, and she said it might actually simmer down. And then if in a week it's not better, then I need to come back. He needs to see the vet and have the vet decide if they can actually do surgery. And she said she'd even clear off the whole calendar, like for a day for surgery, even if she had other people scheduled for like wellness checks or vaccinations. Clear it off so that we can get him in, since I'm traveling and we don't want it to go on too long because of his age. So I was in a panic, and she totally set me at ease. So I now have him on antibiotics as of today. Little guy had a tough morning, huh? Yesterday and today, tough days. You ready to get up? Oh. You just gonna give me smooches all morning, huh? Okay. Needless to say, he is not happy with me today. And it's a little bit short. You can see his snout can hang out a little bit, so he can get to it some of the time, so I still gotta watch him. I do have sweatpants. My mom made him like a little sweatsuit. It was for after his bath. She would put it on because then he wouldn't get cold and he wouldn't be drippy all over the house. So he has like a little sweatsuit, like little sweatpants. So I do have that with me, and if he licks it at night, I put those on. This guy has like the most flexible paws of any dog. Tomorrow we're going to get up early and just go into town to the vet and hopefully just talk to them and see if I should be scheduling an appointment for him to have surgery. It doesn't look as infected anymore, but it's still really big, and his antibiotic treatment finished today. So I'm gonna wrap it up tonight, get some rest, get up early, get stuff done. We gotta go to the vet today, pal. You love the vet. No joke, he really does love the vet. We'll try and wake you up slowly. What do you think? No? Okay. Snooze button? Shoot. What do you think? What'd he do to you? Oh, gross. Poor Papa. So, I'm gonna try, since we're already in town, to run some errands. I'm not so sure about that character up there. So we're just walking around today. It's not super busy in town. So towns we hit where it's not super busy, I try and walk him around town to maybe, I don't know, it might be lost cause, but desensitize him a little. I will say part of the problem is that his expectation is that every single person we pass is going to want to pet him. And he gets really upset when people walk by him and don't say hi to him. So we got to try and break him of the thought that everybody wants to pet him. So many good sniffs, huh? Okay, so I stopped at the Cuban restaurant. Ooh, Cuban sandwich. Oh, this is gonna be good. It's so rare I eat out. It's such a treat. That is good. If you're in Leadville, go to the Cuban restaurant. That was really good. So I ate half of it. I have the other half. I'll probably save that and have it for dinner. It was not cheap for like a sandwich. I want to say it was it $15 or $16 for that. And I have gotten pretty cheap as I've traveled, you know. When I had a normal, real, quote unquote, real job, I didn't flinch, like 20 bucks for a sandwich or whatever, $50 for dinner, whatever. But now, like anywhere near $20 for a meal, I do kind of cringe. Something like Cuban food, it's like you don't come across it very often. So that's more likely a place where I would splurge, is when I can get something that I usually otherwise can't find. So. And then onward back to camp. And yeah, it was good to get Hobbes out for a bit, out in public. Kind of weird spot to put your buttocks, but to each his own, I guess. It's one way of guarding your treat. Hobbes. Woo woo. He needs to get some of this energy out. He has to. Making him walk today because he's driving me nuts. And then at some point he just gets more interested in walking. I don't know what goes through his little noggin. Yikes. It's a bad one. Wow. Look at that. Look at that fire. Yikes. Lucky the forest didn't go up all around it, because zoom out here. Surrounded by trees. And we just popped out on a golf course. I actually, believe it or not, have golf clubs with me. Not a whole set, but hybrid set. So I could. I tried to look it up. It looks like I'd rather just go to the driving range and hit a bucket. Doesn't look like they have a driving range though. No golfing today, but it's kind of neat. It's a bit chilly out, a little breezy out, but I just dragged him out here to sit in the chair to enjoy the outside a little bit. We haven't been able to sit outside because of his because of his cyst. I've been trying really hard to keep it clean, and he has a tendency, even with his dog bed, sometimes he'll want to sit on the dirt, and then it's a whole situation to get it all cleaned up again. So we've been doing walks, but I haven't been sitting outside as a result. So I feel a little bit deprived of outside time. So today I thought, oh, I'll just put him in my lap. So we've been sitting in my chair for probably the last 45 minutes. He loves it because he loves chair time with me. So no complaints on his part, that's for sure. But this left arm here has fallen asleep. So just about time to move on in. What you think, hubbies? No, not ready yet? Okay, a couple more minutes. It's been on my list since we got here to actually do a little trash pickup. This site looks clean from the outside, but there's a tremendous amount of like micro trash around here. So I just got my little plastic glove out, and I should have done it right when I got here, and now we're wrapping up our stay. Cyclist. I didn't want him to take off after them. Now we're wrapping up our stay, and I'm thinking I gotta get it in before my stay's over. So let's see what we can find out here. So at first glance, it looks pretty good. I mean, those are Hobbes poop bags, but other than that, it looks good, but looks can be deceiving. let me get back to you. Okay, so I have to get on a meeting webinar in a sec. So I couldn't spend too terribly long, but in about half hour or so walking around camp, this is what I got. Just a ton of like little garbage everywhere. All these weird wires. Yeah, and some of it is intentional, littering, and then others of it probably was not intentional. So I don't mind picking up for a while because it's inevitable. At some point you unintentionally maybe drop a corner of a wrapper or something and don't notice. So there's still stuff around. So I'll probably, maybe after my call, try and do another round. I'm still seeing, it's pretty easy to see colors out here, you know, that don't belong. So just go and fill up my dog bag with, everybody does this a little bit, then we leave it cleaner than we found it and it'll stay clean. Hobbes didn't really enjoy participating in the trash pickup, so he said, I'll just wait here in the shade for you. I was trying to get him to come with me, put him on a leash and everything. He just was not having it. He said, forget it. You funny guy. He's having dog dreams. I'm sitting here dying. It's like the best.